Alright guys, well, welcome to the channel. All my gimbals and phone holders have broke. My kid was playing with them, so I have to hold the phone like a beginner again. Yeah, so, but no, let's talk about Echo. Let's talk about the MCU and Echo, because it's kind of a forgettable series, but we'll get into that. Okay, so the MCU has already had an MCU problem, and that started way back in Captain Marvel started because, girl power and all that, right? Which I don't have a problem with. Okay, that's great, but don't do it at the expense of the male heroes. In Endgame, when they were like, "Oh, she's gonna need some help," oh, don't worry, she's got backup. Everybody's thinking the same thing. Oh, here we go. We're gonna start doing the whole, female power. We're gonna put everything aside and focus on those heroes, which is great. If you're gonna do that, do better storytelling. Captain Marvel, the first film, terrible. The Marvels, so much potential. All right, you want strong female heroes, we get it, but don't give them, don't give them the whole cliche of we're girls, we're gonna get girl power. No, man, like give them something to, give them a story, give them something, make them lose something the way you do with the regular heroes, with like Daredevil losing his father, Punisher losing his whole family, Spider-Man losing Uncle Ben. There's so much, yeah, it's the same trough that you fill out everywhere else. Make them lose something. Make them really, really lose something. Not just my people are hurt and I gotta find them. No, man, like there is so much potential here, so much potential for Echo. So before I lose my train of thought, it's this show is a Marvel Spotlight film or show, right? It's not, it's part of the MCU, but it's not part of the entire grandeur of being canon, right? It's a one-off series, kind of like the 6 issues of Dark Ages, which is a really good read, by the way. But, if you're going to give us a dark and gritty, TV show like you're promoting on Disney Plus, make it dark and gritty. This was just your typical, villain turned hero. There was nothing dark and gritty about it. Yeah, she worked for Kingpin. Whoop-de-doo. So do we all. Make it 22 episodes the way Netflix does. Make me really connect to this character. Which, okay, I'll say, show-wise, production-wise, it was really good to see. Sorry, my hands are getting shaky here. No gimbals. It was really good to see the. I'm sorry if I mispronounce this. The Choctaw Nation, which is a real. It's really cool to see Marvel taking live culture, American culture, especially with, how now the Navajo Nation is getting the recognition it deserves. It's really cool to incorporate that as heroes, which I agree with, right? As a Cuban, I wish there was, heroes for us. We've got America Chavez, Robbie Reyes, and everything else for all the Latinx, heroes and stuff like that. But I want something like Dive from Cuba, as a Cuban American. So to see that, right, to see Marvel's inclusion in that, and for Marvel's inclusion of ASL language, right? So the main actress, Alaqua Cox, she herself is hearing impaired and requires ASL. So for the production team and for them to change her character to use ASL in the show, and I guess for the remainder of her character within the MCU, I think it was pretty cool to see. But overall, the series is kind of forgettable. It's like, kind of like, I'll just put something on just to put on. Being a spotlight film, it's not really going to have a big impact in the MCU, which, okay, so I'm about to piss off my fellow nerds here, all right? You heard that right. The Spotlight is not canon into the MCU, which means kind of whatever happens here doesn't make a big difference. So at the end of the show, if you've seen it, you see how she fights Kingpin. A lot of nerds and big Marvel fans like myself are like, whoa, what did she do to the Kingpin? What did she, what is going on? It's not canon. You can do anything to any character, and then in another series, it's completely fine. All right. If you truly understood one shots, in comics, like, okay, Dark Ages, greatest 6 issue I've ever seen. It's mini issues. It's a mini story. All right. It's the greatest mini story I've ever seen. Right? They kill Wolverine. Um, you know, Miles got killed. There was a whole bunch of other stuff, right, going on in that, right? Doesn't mean he's dead forever. It doesn't mean he's, oh, that's it. That's the end of Wolverine. That's the end of Cyclops. It's just a short story. It's just a one-off, side quest, whatever you want to call it, right? That's what these spotlight films are. So I believe this is the first one we've gotten. Which, if it's going to be like that, fine. But give me 22 episodes, just like Netflix did, to make me really relate to a character. I can't relate to a character within 5 episodes, knowing, okay, you're already a villain. How am I going to expect you within 5 episodes to sympathize with you and see that you've changed your ways and stuff like that? Give me 22 in-depth episodes of gritty storytelling. If you're going to say gritty dramas, call it that. Do that. Show me, death. Show me, her losing family. Like, more than, yes, we see that she, if you know from, Hawkeye series, that she lost her mother and father. Right. But give me what else can do that. I don't know. Overall, I wasn't really truly excited for it. Now, some of the fight scenes that were there, seeing it relate to the Choctaw Nation, was really cool. I thought it was cool storytelling wise. I was like, okay, maybe I can get a hold of this, right? So are we going to say that her powers are mutant related, or is it divine? Is it cosmic? We don't know. We could never know. And we may not. And you know what? I'm okay with that. So, overall, I'm giving this a good, maybe 7 out of 10. It was a good little fun series to watch. I mean, like I said, I kind of just had it there. I wasn't too really like, oh, I gotta watch it. I watched it, and 5 episodes be done in 2 days or really a day, because they're like 30 minutes each. So if you really sat and watched it, you can knock that thing out in a day. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy this. We're gonna be doing some more. I gotta fix my equipment here. So like, share, subscribe. Give me your thoughts. Let's talk about this. All right, hit us up on Facebook, Rejected Here's Media. I'll chat with you all day. I'll argue with you all day if you want to too. It makes no difference to me. I like I like to argue, and it's fun pastime. I mean, who doesn't like a good conversation about something? Like, hey, you got your take, I got mine. That's why it's called an opinion, baby. That's why we do these things. Neezy's got a completely different opinion from me. So that's why our reviews are our reviews, and you don't like it, then I just think cool.